to video 6. I think this is the last video in the series unless somebody asks me some follow-up questions. This is what supplements to stop and what minerals to start in your life to start nourishing your bodies and to help heal your endocrine and your nervous system. Really, the goal is to create ceruloplasmin in your body and to help transport that through your body, and also to calm your nervous system. So those are the two main goals of this entire series, and it can be done if you just do just these 4 things, 2 things to stop and 2 things to start, and give it 3 months. I'd be very, very interested in hearing your feedback, because the science supports it. There are testimonies after testimonies after testimonies of people who focus on mineral balance and how it changes their life. It is the missing link that isn't talked about in traditional medicines. So I'm going to give you the 4 things, but I'm a little bit afraid that you're going to say that's too simplistic. It can't be that. It's kind of like salvation. No, I can't just, believe Jesus, and that's just too simplistic. But it is simplistic because it's just a couple minerals that we are deficient in. It is it. And if your body has what it needs to support itself and to create energy and to go through the processes and charge the enzymes in your body, the whole thing, if it just has those nutrients, all of these domino effect problems will resolve themselves over time. Can't expect 10 to 15 years of depletion to be fixed in 3 months, but it can be fixed. So I'm also a little bit afraid that for those people who say, well, what else is there more? Because there are people who are all or nothing, and they really want to know, okay, well, if I do that, then what more can I do? And I do things in addition to just these supplements, but that's just part of our lifestyle. But I am going to have a supplemental blog post to this video that can give you some ideas of what foods to choose to help you in supporting a further nourishment of your body, because this is just phase 1. These 4 things are the beginner phase, and then after you can get those things and it starts building up your energy and starts healing your nervous system and calming your nervous system, then you can take some time, and it can't be just like this huge life overhaul. Those things don't change. They're exhausting. So do something little like this for the first 3 months, and then take something else the next 3 months and add that and master it. And once you master it, then you move on to the next thing, and then you'll find that in a couple years you'll have mastered 8 different parts of nutrition, and that's probably good. Just take your time. Take your time. But let's start with these 4 things. Stop. The first thing to stop. Somebody asked me, well, what are your credentials for saying this? So this is why I'm going to cite the people who have done this research. I did learn from other people, and so you can look at their credentials and not mine. I'm totally okay with that, but I believe the science is sound. So Jason Fung, he does a lot on insulin resistance, and Physionic is a page, not his page, but it also has a balanced view of insulin resistance I talked about in video number 2. And somebody asked him if there was one thing, just one thing, that you think people should do that would help heal their body from insulin resistance. And I thought he was going to say intermittent fasting or a low-carb diet, because they do promote that in the weight loss world. And he said, get rid of high fructose corn syrup in your diet. I was like, I was not expecting that. He said your body doesn't metabolize it the same way. It actually goes straight to your liver to be processed. Get rid of high fructose corn syrup in your diet, which I thought was interesting, because that was one side of the mitochondria story. And then on the flip side of the mitochondria story, where I learned a lot from Morley Robbins and the oxygen delivery with the ceruloplasmin, he's one of the very first things it says, get rid of high fructose corn syrup in your diet because it raises, it lowers liver copper and it damages the mitochondria and it raises iron in your liver. And I just thought, wow, two people who this is their field of study. Jason Fung has been a kidney doctor for 20 years. Morley Robbins worked in the medical field for years and years and years, and then studied deeply the magnesium and also the ceruloplasmin combo of retinol and copper. These people who are they are the masters of their topic. They both said get rid of high fructose corn syrup in your diet. So, I'm also going to say, get rid of high fructose corn syrup in your diet. There's so much more you could do about sugars, but I'm not going to go down that. These two things affect your body in a damaging way. This one thing affects your body in a damaging way. High fructose corn syrup. It really fights against you. It blocks the whole process of what you're trying to do. So that's the first thing, is to stop. The second thing is an awareness of ascorbic acid. If you look on Google and say, what is that? They'll say it's the purest form of vitamin C. And your body needs vitamin C to work alongside with ceruloplasmin to turn the hydrogen peroxide into water. It also needs E. But the purest form of vitamin C is actually a synthetic form, and it is a very simple synthetic composition of an element of vitamin C. But the way that God makes food is in complexes, which you'll hear complex carbohydrates. This is the way that food-based vitamin C is a vitamin C complex. So it's not simple. And the vitamin C that's sourced from food, it has an enzyme with it. It's a triosinase enzyme. Enzymes pretty much run the processes in your body, and the enzymes are actually fuel. Have you ever heard the copper top battery? Bing! Enzymes in your body are, the battery of all your enzymes is copper. But the triosinase enzyme of the complex, the vitamin C complex, it's like a pyramid. And on every point, bing, 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 all 3 points, it has a copper on the tip of them. And so vitamin C complex transports and delivers copper throughout your body. So there's a reason why God made things the way he made them. And it's very cellular. It's very tiny, microscopic. But there's a reason why foods work the way that they work. And when man has this very singular focused look on something, and then they try to make it as inexpensive as possible, or they end up messing it up because they take away the complexity that only God the designer can make it. So when you are trying to take vitamin C because you realize, well, my body needs vitamin C, everybody's saying 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, that is not ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid actually, it blocks the transportation and the absorption of copper, which will then limit your ceruloplasmin throughout your body. Ceruloplasmin, so much of your body, your digestive enzymes are run by ceruloplasmin. It just can't understate how important ceruloplasmin is in your digestive, your endocrine, your metabolism, so many things. So when you see vitamin C, choose food-based vitamin C complex, not ascorbic acid. So those are the two things I would suggest that you stop: high fructose corn syrup and ascorbic acid. Anything that is an ascorbate, from the same place, and they don't help your body, they hurt it. So those were the stops. The starts are, you're shooting for the copper and the retinol because those two work together to make the ceruloplasmin, or like I said, the ceruloplatter that carries the oxygen around your body and then works as the battery for your enzymes and then cleans out your hydrogen peroxide and then ushers the iron back into your bone marrow. All of those things. So you need retinol and copper to do that. Most of the foods that have copper in them, sweet potatoes, eggs, you have a lot of different vitamins, and they have about 0.3 milligrams in a serving size, 1 cupful. And you need 2 a day, about 2 milligrams a day of copper. So if you ate a cup of peas and 1 potato, then you'd have about 0.6. How are you going to fill in that other gap? And that seems to be where we are struggling as a society, mostly because we don't eat vegetables in abundance, but also there is this gap of what our body needs. And that's because we have stopped eating things like beef liver. And I was talking to somebody, and they said, "You mean my mom was right? She said, eat your beef liver, honey. It's good for you." But beef liver I was looking up how much it has in just 1 ounce. 1 ounce of beef liver has 2.7 milligrams of copper. And it has the retinol with it. It's like 4,000 IUs of retinol. It's a ridiculous combo, but it is exactly the balance that your body needs. You could get copper through your plant sources, especially shiitake mushrooms. They are super high in copper. No wonder why Japanese people who eat the traditional Japanese diet are so healthy and so youthful for so long. But you don't get your retinol in your vegetables. You get your retinol through animal-based foods like eggs and milk and cheese. But oysters and beef liver, those have that combo of the retinol and copper in such high quantities that you just really have to eat a couple ounces a week. Probably if you ate 2 cooked oysters a week, and 2 to 4 ounces of beef liver a week, you would have enough comprised with all of your other vegetables to get the ceruloplasmin, the minerals that produce ceruloplasmin, into your system. The thing is that beef liver is not very good. It's really yucky. Which is why people say, my mom made me eat it. So I have been working on having more beef liver in our life, and so I would just suggest that you keep experimenting until you can find what works for you. For us currently, what is working is that I mix about 1.5 pounds of ground pork with 1 pound of beef liver, and I put my salt and pepper and garlic, granulated garlic, and my minced onion, my paprika in there, and I make little jerky strips and I smoke them. And then so we just have little 1 ounce jerky, and each of us eats 1 little thing of jerky, and because it has the pork in there and it has the seasonings in there, and it's because it's combined, it's bearable. Come to me for more delicious recipes. No, I have so many good recipes, but beef liver, maybe it's an acquired taste. The smoking makes it a little bit deeper, a little bit better, but I have a family of 7, and I can't afford $60 a month supplements for desiccated beef liver. So, you just do what you gotta do. And until I can find a better resource, this is what I'm doing. So, your beef liver, or your whatever it takes, oysters, maybe your place for cooked oysters is just highly available to you, but you need that copper and your retinol. Lastly, here's your number 4, is start magnesium supplements. I'm not a big fan of supplements because I feel like when you start focusing on supplements, you stop focusing on nutritive food, and being dependent in your diet on processed packaged foods can harm your health in the long run. And I really feel like foods, the complex foods, your complex carbohydrates, your whole grains, your vegetables, your legumes, your potatoes, your nightshades, all of those things, your berries, they just have so much in them that you don't even know, because people become so singular when they're focused in nutrition. So I don't really recommend supplements. Not only that, I don't think you're just feeding you. You probably have a whole family that needs nourished, and the best way to feed your whole family is by cooking real foods for your whole family. You can afford that versus, like I said, $60 for one person for 1 month, time however many different supplements. whoever is trying to get money from you suggests. I'm not trying to get money from you. I am a biblical counselor, and I believe that there is a spiritual element to this whole health battle. If Satan can keep us sick and tired and anxious and overwhelmed, it's like Pharaoh and the Israelites when they said, can we go worship our God? And he said, oh, you think you want to go worship your God? Well, I know you were making bricks, but now you make your straw to make your bricks. I feel like that's what's happening in the world. So I care about people. I care about helping people. This is a real issue that's affecting, it's like an epidemic amongst women. So I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I'm trying to tell you that if I was going to recommend a supplement, it would be magnesium, because our soil has been depleted by glyphosate. Is that the word? But it is. It's been depleted. And magnesium is just, unless you're around a place with a great source of seawater and you're eating things like seaweed regularly in your daily diet, it's going to be super difficult to get the magnesium you need. You need about 5 grams per weight of your body just for maintenance. And then if you're going through a season of stress, or if you've been chronically stressed for so long, and I talk about this in video number 3, go watch that if you need a refresher on why I'm saying this, but you need more. And it's just not super available. And I feel like it's one of those things that is somewhat affordable. Like for me, it is $17 a month for the supplements that I take. And I have 7 people in my family, and they're not super big. So I can give them, they don't necessarily need as much as I do. And they weigh a lot less than I do. They probably can get a lot through their foods, so they don't need as much supplementation. But I recommend, what I personally take is I take the NutriGold Magnesium Gold. And I get it from a co-op in our area, but you can get it on Amazon. You just pay a little bit more because of shipping. So if you can find it someplace where you don't have to pay for shipping, then that's great. But mine is about $17 a month. So those are the 4 things that I think everybody, if you watch the videos and you understand what our body is missing and what it has caused, the cataclysmic domino effect, it can be solved in the 4 things. Get that high fructose corn syrup out of your diet. When you are getting your vitamin C, which you need vitamin C especially to reduce that oxidative stress, choose whole food sources. And you can look online to see what those are. They're pretty straightforward and they're readily available. And then find a source for retinol and copper. Our family is choosing to buy beef liver and make things from it. And then magnesium, and our family is choosing a supplement for that. So there's a link in the description below. If it's just a quick print up of this, but also with that, I have 4 things to watch out for. No, 3 different things to watch out for. Pitfalls when you're starting this nourishment, food, nutrition. I've been studying this for, I said 11 years, but it's actually been about 13 years that I've been actively studying nutrition. And so I've watched a lot of extremes. And I am careful because people want to make money off of you. People do become very, very singular, and I look at the Bible as my guide. So just some three things to watch out for, and then I have these things listed in case you just want to print it up. I'll have links for the supplements, and then I will also have a list of what types of foods that I have that we eat. And I focus on ingredients because I believe that everybody has different tastes of what foods they want to make, what meals they want to make, even though I do have a 5-week meal plan on my webpage. And at this point, I have all of the dinner recipes for every single dinner that we make for those 5 weeks. But I use the same ingredients over and over and over, and they're high nutritive ingredients. So I have a list of my ingredients list, like literally everything that's on my Walmart shopping list, my grocery pickup, and then what's in my pantry just for the basics of cooking. And it's very clean and ingredient focused. When I say ingredient focused, I mean like I read the back of labels. I'm not just going to say buy yogurt. So I list name brands where I think that they're important, but in general, if you have the broad variety of nutrients in the foods that you're choosing, then you could just make whatever foods you like out of those flavors. And so I'll have that list, the ingredient staples and the pantry staples. I'll have those in that blog post, which will be linked below. And also I have that 5-week meal plan and recipes linked below. 20 minutes for 4 things. I thank you for sticking around, and I hope you have a great day.